Right then, it's a quick walk around video of an absolutely beautiful Lexus. This is an IS300 hybrid. It's the executive model. A 2014 car, just 61,000 I think, but I will check that again. My mind's gone completely blank unfortunately. Finished in this gorgeous metallic red, which never, the videos never do justice to. It's such a rich colour. Full black leather interior. The car comes with a full service history, and it's just going to be heading off for a new MOT. It's well cared for. Front of the car, lovely styling on these cars. Front lights, lenses, all clear and intact. No cracks or condensation in them. Bonnet exceptionally clean. Can't see any obvious stone chips. There will be on the bonnet too, but nothing jumps out. Near side of the car, beautifully smooth in the panels. Still such a handsome car in my eyes. It's going to be launched today and still look good. On the back, very clean and tidy. Any marks, very light indeed. And off side of the car, driver's side, again, mirror smooth in the panel work there. Is a fabulous looking car, in lovely condition for it, certainly for a 10-year-old car. It shows very few signs of wear and tear. It's coming to the boot area, very big boots in these cars, and very nicely finished as well. It's coming to the back, you've got a lovely black leather interior, which has been kept in really, really lovely condition. Into the front and passenger side, door cards, full set of Lexus mats, you can see, passenger seat there, not been given a lot of use. Finally come to the driver's door card, again absolutely beautifully clean. Same with the footwell areas, the driver's seat, the car at its age and mileage is in incredibly good condition. So inside the car, engine's running through the section so the dash is illuminated. Absolutely stunning interior this is. It's been kept very nicely as well. Sat nav, as you can see, working exactly as it should. You come down this wonderful centre stack, which looks absolutely stunning. And come to the main dashboard binnacle, really nicely detailed. And in the Econ and normal mode, this is the view you get as a driver. And twist it to the right into sport mode, and you've got the rev counter magically appears. I do believe you can go to settings and configure that slightly differently, set it up as you want, but I've never fathomed that out or been bothered to, in all honesty. This is a lovely car. I was panning there for you, hopefully you can see I was right. 61,230 miles, no warning lights on at all. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual, pack and lock and unlock key, all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Lexus IS300h, and it's the executive model. The car's registered YN64ZZY, and mileage is 61,224 currently. The reason we do these videos, and especially this road test section, is to just ensure that if anyone's looking at any of our cars online, they get to see that very car actually in operation. We just feel it's very important because we, like many people, have been to see cars which have looked absolutely fine in photographs or description, and then to get there and find out it's got an obvious fault that shows up when you drive, which can be hugely frustrating. So coming to the car, clearly it's been very well looked after. Press the power button, it whirs silently into life, and then you into the realms of one of the nicest powertrains you'll ever come across. Worth pointing out, there's no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. Temperature gauge running at just over a third rather, which is exactly where it's meant to be, and it's been driving for the best part of an hour and a half to get to us because it's literally just arrived. These are, as is commonly referred to these days, as a self-charging hybrid. Basically, it does what it says. You're going to drive, own and run the car like any normal petrol engine. You get low on fuel, stand at a petrol pump rather smugly for about 2 minutes, and you're on your way again for 400 or 500 miles. The battery replenishes itself every time you back off the throttle or hit the brake pedal, never runs out. There's no range anxiety, no plugging in, nothing like that at all. And the way it interacts with the engine is all but seamless. It's absolutely incredible. And for those who haven't driven one of these before, especially if they're coming from conventional auto or turbo diesel, the first thing that most people notice is just how smooth the driveline is, not only in terms of how quiet and refined, but things like now coming to a stop and then pulling away, it doesn't grate, there's no jar, there's no clunkiness to it at all. And that's how it all works. It all just comes together just so nicely. The engine, you can hardly hear, and when you do, it sounds really nice. It's one of the quietest cars I've sat on a motorway. It's brilliant for long distance travel. You can operate the car in 3 different modes: normal, eco, and sport. Self-explanatory, really. And you've got a little knob down here. Twist it to the left into eco, which is fine for around town. Press a button down, you're back to normal, and then twist it to the right, and suddenly a rev counter's magically appeared on the dashboard. Looks real. I mean, the graphics are incredible, I have to say. But you can feel a discernible difference. The throttle response is much keener. But I have to be honest with you, the ones I've owned, I've spent 99% of my time in normal mode and been absolutely happy with that. Engine obviously feeds through the CVT gearbox, which is the perfect match. It just means when you put your foot down now and pull away, there is no gear change. You just rev and it catches up with the revs and off you go. If you believe some of the buffoons on YouTube and the Motoring Press, who seem to think a throttle pedal has 2 positions, one where you're not applying it and the other is flat to the floor, then you can get what they call rev flare with it. Revs pick up, so put your foot down hard now, revs are picking up, but you kind of catch up with it and you back off the throttle. Most normal human beings driving the car will think it is the most brilliant accompaniment to the engine, and they're right. And that's all functioning absolutely perfectly, of course. Then coming to the steering and chassis of the car, really nicely set up. And I said in all the videos, the IS300, I think it just hits a beautiful sweet spot for this type of car. Because its natural competitors will be, high-end stuff. So we're talking kind of Audi, BMW, Mercedes. This has a vigour and a keenness to its chassis that the Audi and the Mercedes just don't have. They're much duller by comparison. Only the 3 Series, which is brilliant, the chassis, I have to say. The flip side to its brilliance and handling is the fact that when you're not in the mood to enjoy it, they can be quite unforgiving and quite hard. Whereas this manages to give you 90-95% of what the BMW can give, but all other times is far more comfortable. I just think it's a much nicer balance. It rides really nicely. When you go through the corners, the steering's beautifully done. Of course, there's no drive shafts to pollute it, but the weighting and the confidence through the steering is fantastic. It's such a nimble, enjoyable car to drive, and very, very capable. Worth pointing out, absolutely no clonks, rattles from the suspension at all. Steering of the car tracks absolutely bullet straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the limit either. Brakes on the car are absolutely superb. They bite really nicely. There's no pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal either. And then finally inside, which is yet to be cleaned, by the way, lovely interiors, really lovely. Build quality is astonishing. No squeaks, no rattles, of course. The quality of the materials used are absolutely top notch. What I've always loved about the ISs inside is that, unlike so many of the competitors where they all market them the same way, it feels like you're in a cockpit, you're sat into the car and you feel like one, it's utter garbage most of the time. This genuinely does. You do have a lovely low seating position, which is adjustable a multitude of ways, and very, very comfortable seats. But you can just get this feeling this thing is wrapped around you. But what I love is the fact that it's just got such lovely detailing to all of the switchgear, which is what Lexus do brilliantly well. high up sat nav working perfectly, of course. Dual zone climate control system pumping out absolutely ice cold air. Heated seats working perfectly as you'd expect. But this sort of center console is said it's almost like a really high quality hi-fi. That's the way I'd from years gone by, which is so pleasing on the eye. And then you've got this dash binnacle in front, which is beautifully detailed, and to think it's digital in effect, because when you press a button, as I said, you've got the sport mode comes up, changes the graphics, and yet it just looks so real, and actually relatively minimalist, which I really like. There's not too much information to distract you. And then finally you've got this lovely leather bound steering wheel, which feels great in hand. I cannot fault the car in any way. It drives genuinely absolutely perfectly.